Hi everyone. I am back. We went to Wisconsin, deep into the woods, man. Way the fuck out there, which is anywhere in Wisconsin. Girlfriend's family has a cabin out in the middle of nowhere. It's amazing. We went there and I needed to just get away for like a week, and I just wanted somewhere like quiet and where I could just like disconnect, unplug from everything before the next like month when my special comes out in 9 days. Whoa, weird. Dude, this whole thing has been, it's just so much work. I can give one piece of advice about making a special. Do not, if you can help it, I couldn't help it, but if you can help it, don't single-handedly produce something that you're also going to be in. Wall to wall, never-ending stress. And it's just a lot of work. It's a lot of work. And it's still, right now, to this minute, is still work. And I just want it to be out and done. And even when it's out, it's not going to be, I have to go, do podcasts and promote it and like get the word out there. That'll be more fun, but it's still going to be work. So it's like, I don't know when I'll finally get to be like, and then I don't know, maybe I'll never enjoy it, but hopefully, I don't know. Hopefully I will. But anyway, I needed to just get the fuck away from everything for a while and just like stare. There's something about like staring out into nothingness, a frozen lake and just snow covering everything. It was like we're in a snow globe. It was good because you could just shut it all off. Like when I was talking about a couple weeks ago on one of the episodes about how everything, like when you're on a bike ride, everything just sort of melts away and it's just like the one or two things that are like in your mind just come to the forefront. It's pretty much like that when you like go somewhere and do nothing with nothing around you. It's just like everything just quiets the fuck down. And I don't know how people live like that full time. I couldn't live in the woods full time. It'd be I don't know. I need to be able to like have a city and go back and forth. But there's something about like taking a specific amount of time to just go be around nothing. Like when people vacation and then go to somewhere like insane, I guess maybe the people that live in quiet areas want to go somewhere like loud and but if you already live in LA, New York, and then your idea of a vacation is just somewhere equally as insane and loud, it's like I don't know, man. Now that I'm an American citizen, I can travel internationally. Not anytime soon because I am going to be fucking homeless because I have so much debt and no money. One day, maybe I'll be able to go somewhere. It's always something, man. I'm not complaining. I am, but I'm not. I got my passport. Whoa. I got emotional. I started like in the cartoon, when the cartoon's eyes are just filling with like water and it's like a swimming pool and then it's like about to burst out the side. That's what I started feeling just looking at it. It just says United States of America and then my picture in it. And I'm just like, this is the ability to go anywhere finally without like getting detained or maybe not getting into certain countries. Like countries like Lebanon and there's other ones where you probably really can't travel or they're going to make it a big deal. But America, I don't know if you know this, is an empire. So we can do whatever we want. But yeah, I can like travel all over the world one day if I ever have money. And hopefully I can book some like gigs and stuff internationally and I can finally go see, and it won't be real travel. It won't be vacation at all, but I can actually like see some European countries or something, or Australia or whatever. I've had people be like, come to Australia. I'm like, dude, fucking, I would love to, but when's that going to happen? I don't know. Maybe the next 10 years from now. So anyway, it was nice to just stare out at nothing. It's great. Even the dogs, like we had the dogs with us and they were just like, they were just like, and then probably, I don't know, daydream or maybe wait for something. But like, it was so quiet and so little was happening that when like a snowmobile would like go across the lake, which I'm telling you, like the closest snowmobile's a couple 100 yards away minimum, the dogs would just be like, you know, just like, what the fuck is Bigfoot outside? Like that's how crazy they went. And you look outside and you're like, the tiny headlights way over there, but it's just so little is happening that it's startling when anything does. One time, a snowplow, one of those went by at like 8 miles an hour, and the dogs were just like, they went crazy. And even they were just like, man, we were chilling, dude. What the fuck? We came here to relax too. Although Ricky was seeing a lot of squirrels, and there was a decent chance he was going to just like right through the window with his fucking brick of a head and then just go chase one. I still don't know what he'd do to this day if he found a squirrel. Would he just be like, ha, ha, just play the, all right, you know, you run, I'll chase you, and then we'll do the, you know, cornered you, all right, but go, and let's keep this, you know, cat and mouse or dog and squirrel game going. That's what I think would happen. But then again, when he gets a toy, like he grabs it and does the, you know, the kill move, where I'm like, that's what he'd probably do to a squirrel. I mean, he is a dog after all. Like you forget when they're just like laying, you know, on their backs and you're petting their stomach and they're being like all lovey-dovey. And you're like, you have a fucking giant mouth full of teeth and you can just grr, and the way they rip shit apart sometimes. You're like, you're a fucking murderer at the end of the day. You don't have the moral like compunction. You will kill stuff. One of these days I want to see it happen. I want to see him corner a squirrel and just like, what is he going to do to it? And I know it's his ultimate dream in life. I don't know if I've said this before, but when it's time for him, when he's about to go, I want to somehow get a squirrel for him and just let him go at it. I don't know. I don't know how I would do that. I don't know how I would do that. But I want to just give him his one wish. It would be interesting. I'd be an accessory to murder, but it'd be worth it. That dog has changed my life. He has saved me in so many ways. The least I could do is capture a squirrel and let him kill it. I mean, are we not going to give our loved ones a gift when they get to the end of their life? Of course we are. Spent a lot of time doing nothing, and I wasn't going to have a gym or any way to work out up there. So I volunteered to shovel all the snow that was needed to be shoveled anywhere in and around the place. And it's a good workout. Shoveling snow, it's a full body workout, man. You get in there. It's like an arm and shoulder. It's like a shoulder and arm workout, right? You'll feel it in your forearms and your bicep. And it's definitely a shoulder thing because you're like lifting and either throwing it behind or to the side. You feel it in your shoulders. And if you're lifting properly, which with your legs, it's like you're doing squats in a way, and that's like you feel that full body. And then if you're an idiot like me, you will go too far and be shoveling where the ground is really icy, and then you will dig into the snow and slip in an effort to save yourself from falling. You'll try to stand up, but the shovel will still be in the snow, and you'll stand up with your back, and you'll essentially have done the equivalent of trying to lift 20 pounds of snow with your back really fast. And then what will happen is you will spend the next 2.5 days unable to walk. I'm dumb. That's what I did. Fortunately, we were in the middle of nowhere and there was nothing to do. So that was the only plus. The minus was I wanted to like go snowshoeing and like just walk around the lake. And I don't mind when it's like 0 degrees. I really don't. I'll dress warm enough and I'll be like, yeah, let's go walk around the snow. And it's so quiet out there. But those last 2.5 days, I was fucking laid out. Ugh, it sucked. And we had no Advil or Icy Hot or anything I just had to lay the fuck down, man. It sucked. I mean, I could walk to and from, like if I had to go to the bathroom or like, get a glass of water. I wasn't like fucking paralyzed, but it hurt so bad. And I may or may not have stopped shoveling right when I felt myself pull the muscle. I was like, I gotta fit it. There's like still like a 4 foot by 4 foot area that I had to do. And right when you pull it, it doesn't feel its worst yet, but it felt like a streak of lightning went across my lower back. Just, and yeah, I finished shoveling like a fucking asshole. Like a dumb asshole. I'm a dumb asshole. And I paid the price. I feel mostly better now. I've had a back problem. I was almost going to be like, well, I've just turned 40 and now I can't. But honestly, with my back, I've had like some kind of weird back thing since I was like a teenager. It may have been just growth spurt, being too tall too early. It just, I don't know what it was, but every couple of years, I'll do something like that with my back. It's happened before where I don't even it wasn't even from lifting anything. Just one day I like woke up or I don't know if I was like too many bike rides or whatever but I've had it to where I'm just like, oh my God, my back. I feel like I threw like my back out. Not as bad as where I was laying flat in the cabin last week, but I don't know. That's something though where you think like there's no way that's going to get better, Now I'm 40, I gotta be more careful. Like when it happens, I shouldn't finish shoveling the fucking deck like an idiot. Anyway, I feel mostly better, but that's something I have to really be more mindful of now. Like is listening to my body, like stopping before I get to like the end and then going beyond, because that was the only way it ever felt like a real workout or a real endeavor like this. I'm gonna go on a bike ride, like it's gotta be the most I can do. And in the gym, it's like when people leave without like breaking a sweat, I'm like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? Like I have to just, until I can't lift the thing or until I can't take another step on the stair mill. I do intervals on the stair mill, like the actual rotating step thing. Not the fucking Stairmaster, which does nothing. Just bobbing up and down like an idiot. Yeah, I go until I'm drenched and I can't breathe. That's how you do it. That's the only way to work out. But now I guess I have to I only go to 100 instead of 115. I mean, we'll see how that goes. But I'm not going to be one of those people that just stops at 60% or some shit. But I do need to if I feel a little bit of pain, I gotta that's when I go okay, I don't want to. I just don't want to turn into this perpetually injured person. I have friends like that are just, there's always something wrong and they can't do a thing, and I can't have that. I cannot have that. The only thing that keeps me remotely sane is being able to get some kind of real workout in. Gym, bike ride. I was doing a lot of yoga when I had my old gym membership. That place was good because you could just do unlimited yoga classes, unlimited spin classes. But those yoga classes, fuck man, they really they made me feel so good. I felt so much stronger, but I can't afford it. So that's one thing I miss, is being able to do yoga. And I know I can do it at home, but it's not the same. I like, I'm not as motivated. I don't like, and I want to be learning like new things, or like, having my poses kind of like corrected and stuff. There's just something about certain workouts are better. I'm more efficient at them in a class setting, like spin, whatever. I don't really, I only do it if like the weather won't let me do a real bike ride, and I don't even pay attention to the the way they tell you to ride a bike, because I'm like, that's not how you really fucking do it. Or when they go like, all right, do some like mini push-ups on your handlebar, this fucking doesn't do shit. Like, I want to do basically interval cycling on those things. I don't listen to the spin instructors. They're on top of, they don't know how to, not they don't know, but they're not having you ride a bike the way you would really ride a bike or close to it. I don't listen to them. And they usually are spewing stupid fucking like, all right, it's, don't think of the end, just focus on the journey. Just stupid, uplifting, like positive speak that they don't even believe. They heard a spin instructor say that and they go, okay, I'm going to do that. Like, all right, let's get to that goal today. All right, this is what you got up for, like. Yeah, I try and tune them out. If they allowed headphones, a lot of times they're like, we don't want anyone wearing headphones in these classes. Like, just let us do what we want. Like, what if we're getting, like, what we're getting out of this is just the energy from the room, and then let us burn our own calories. Why do we have to do it your way, you dick? So I don't miss spin classes, but I miss yoga. But yeah, man, that place wasn't cheap. It wasn't also expensive. It's just I can't afford to fucking live anymore. So the majority of what I want to talk about today is this fucking thing. I don't know if you guys read this, but this came out in The Cut. It's basically an article that was like, here's how to behave. Here's how to like, here's like a new guide to etiquette or something. And I was like, how much has changed to where we need a whole new guide? And I'm telling you, this thing was written by the most out of touch assholes in the world. I mean, either they've never left Manhattan, they only know rich people, or people that are constantly going out and, doing stuff. All of your friends are successful, fucking famous authors. And it's so pretentious. And I don't know if they did that on purpose just to get, more people to read it. There are some stupid fucking things in here. I want to go through some. We won't be able to go through all. It's just going to be too long. It might be too boring. So, a lot of it is stuff like work-related things. First of all, the first one is the most out-of-touch thing in the world. You don't have to read everyone's book. How many people do you know who have written books? Now, I know a bunch because I work in entertainment, but the average person doesn't know anyone who's written a book. Why is that number? Why? That should be rule 141, not one. Like that, you're coming across that problem that often. Every day you wake up and you're just getting a text like, ugh, another friend's on the New York Times bestseller list. I guess I got to read their book, their personal essay collection. The canceling plans one is fine. You may callously cancel almost any plan up until 2. That number 3, don't be loudly naive about dating apps if you're in a relationship. I don't even understand why that's a rule. Don't be loudly naive. So if you're asking, it's rude to ask questions about dating apps if you're in a relationship and don't know how to use them. Can you not ask questions anymore without assuming that you're against the thing someone's talking about or being patronizing? Questions are how we learn about things. Is you're immediately offended? It's immediately offensive to ask a question if you just don't know? I mean, if someone's going to talk about dating, we're going to fucking ask questions. Oh, where are you meeting people? What are all the apps? I don't know any of the fucking apps. I'm going to ask. Oh, what's that one all about? How'd you meet that how's that going? And anyone that's like young and dating and you should be confident enough already to just answer the question without having your feelings get hurt. Oh. Your wide-eyed curiosity could easily come across as patronizing. Dude, if you're talking to your friends, they know you're not being patronizing. And even if you are, they're your friends. They'll tell you to fuck off. Problem solved. When shopping with a friend, don't cut them in the rack. It's doubly true in a vintage shop where you should let them try on the things you decided not to buy. Again, this affects 800 people worldwide. What are you talking about? Have friendships ended because of this? Are nations collapsing? This is just an etiquette rule that doesn't need to be a fucking rule. You're going with that's never come up. I go shopping a lot. I go vintage shopping a lot. It's never come up. You look around. Also, a lot of times you're going with people where you're not even the same size as, you didn't even like the same shit. It's never wake up your significant. This one was weird to me. Never wake up your significant other on purpose. Ever. No matter what. My first thought was like, well, what if someone's like breaking into your place? They cover that. Ready? Don't turn on the lights when they're asleep. Jet lag and want to talk. Don't do it. Think someone is coming in to kill you. Work it out yourself. No. That's crazy. When we were in the cabin, my girlfriend thought someone was gonna come in and kill us, and then I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm gonna go get murdered now. Like, it just didn't even occur to me to be like, hey, babe, go work that out yourself. What? There's just certain things you as I'm not gonna say as the guy, but just as the bigger, stronger person, you go do it, or you both go. Don't wake the person up is bizarre to me. Bizarre. I want to know who wrote that. I want to know what that person looks like. What's your physical ability like? Work it out yourself. Jesus. While on a date, if you find yourself talking a lot, yeah, that's not a new rule. If you're talking too much on a date, think about how much you've been talking and then ask a question. That's not new. This one makes sense just because it's obvious. By the way, I've read all of these. I read through the entire 140. If you're in your mid 30s or above, you don't need to read this. All the ones that are obvious, you grew up with, don't bother. A lot of the newer ones, like you don't need to read all your friends' books and just bullshit. Some of them are Zoom related, like, don't use a background that's going to make people think they're on vacation, whatever. There's not enough for it to matter. Just skip the article. I know it's been going around. You don't need to read it. You're already an adult. You know. It's acceptable to tell any kind of lie in order to leave a drink state. Yeah, I mean, that one's, There's one about ghosting, which I was asking, like, all right, where have we all landed on that? I will say I like this number 9. If someone starts telling you a story you've heard before, you have 2 seconds to tell them. Interject with, oh my gosh, that was hilarious, or, oh, truly horrific, or unbelievable. Yeah, you told me. But if you don't say it within the allotted time, you just have to sit and listen to the story again. And if you're in a larger group, you just have to listen, period. That's true. If you're in a group, you can't just be like, hey, I've heard this. It's a lot of times that happens a lot in circles of like comics and stuff where someone's going to tell a story. If I've heard it, I just walk off. And it's usually good because the odds are I probably wanted to walk off anyway. But sometimes I have one friend who does this a lot, and I will say like, oh yeah, you told me that one, and then this motherfucker keeps telling the story. Is there a rule on that? There should be a rule. There should be an etiquette rule on that. This one we kind of know. If someone starts telling you a story you've heard, You have 2 seconds or you got to listen. But what if you say it and they keep fucking going? Are you allowed to shake them? You should be allowed to shake them. You should be, hey, stop or listen. You told me this. You should be allowed to do that. That should be a rule. Why didn't they put that in there as a 9A? If they keep going, tell them to shut up. Straight people can use the word partner when they're trying to get something out of it. It's annoyingly vague and also smug. I agree that it can sound smug sometimes. And it's usually, it sounds smug coming from straight people. Trying to procure an apartment, yeah, you can do. Doesn't apply to people who are actively resisting the patriarchy by refusing to get married. We have no other word. So in a lot of cases, it's actually fine to just use it, I think. I think this one is, some people just heard some straight people say and they just needed another rule to fit in. I wonder how many of these they were just like, fuck, we don't have enough. Just throw in some of the ones that we rejected earlier. When another human... This one was weird. When another human is present, don't talk to your animal in the private voice you use when alone together. Why not? Why is that an etiquette rule? I mean, if someone is already over at your house, it just, who cares? Make fun of them. That's a weird etiquette rule. Like someone comes over and you have to just all of a sudden talk to your dog like, what's up, bro? You can't just be like, hey, baby. You know, that's such a weird, that's like, you don't want to feel awkward for a second. So that has to be an etiquette rule. That person can't do that. I don't understand that one. This one I actually thought about for a minute. On a date, all individuals present should gently and politely compete to pay the entire bill. Yeah, still the historical mandate is hard-coded into most people and should be considered. If you're penetrating, you pay. That one I'm not even going to comment on. There's way too many different dynamics and relationships now to where I'm like, still, I will always offer. If it's like, you know, you and a buddy or like you're on a date or something, if it's like a group of 3, 4, 5, 6 people, I'm like, we're all splitting the bill. There is another one on splitting the bill that I thought about even more. And I'll tell you why when we get there. Never too late to send a condolence note. Yeah, of course. That's not a new etiquette rule. Never send an edible arrangement. That's kind of a new etiquette rule because those haven't been around a long time. I guess it's just because it's like fucking hacky at this point. Like everyone's gotten one. I guess most people throw them away. It's okay to ghost after one date. That was one where I was like, yeah, how are the youngsters doing this one now? It kind of sucks to get ghosted, but I guess nowadays, like, that happens so much that I guess you just need to be used to it. You got to go, this might happen and I don't know this person. So like, I'm just going to have to deal with it and not be butthurt over it. But yeah, it's one date, but I guess it's not hard to send a text. Like just be like, hey, it was fun, but this isn't going to work. And then, you know, that might be you assuming that they wanted to go out anyway. Like, I don't know. I guess it's like not hard to program that into your, you know, post-date follow-up or something. Like, you know, it was nice hanging out or getting a drink, but I don't see this going further, or I'm looking for something different. And you send that the next day, and then you're just like conscious cleared. If you get nothing back, you should probably figure that out, I think, in 24 hours, I guess. It seems like it. I don't know how the youngsters are handling that one. If you ghost someone, stay gone forever. I guess that seems pretty obvious. But again, maybe young people are doing things differently. I guess it's so easy to like, I've had friends tell me like, yeah, I went out with this guy, and then, you know, he didn't want to like go out again and wouldn't return my text, but then he would still view all my stories and like things or something. And I was like, yeah, that is weird. But I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm like, That just seems like but we're all so connected in ways that we weren't when there was like one social media app where it was like easy to just ghost someone and then unfollow them on the one thing or something and then not have to interact. But it is possible that maybe like someone would just honestly forget that they were like following you to begin with and then just liking your shit and then going like, oh yeah, that's the person I went on that one date with. And it's, I guess it's still kind of weird, but I don't know, there's a weird disconnect there. But there's also in some ways with people that you are friends with, you think there's more of a connection in a way where like I cannot see a friend for 9 months, but I see their stories and their Instagram posts and stuff, and I feel like we're still totally caught up. And if I saw him next week, I'd be like, hey, what's up? How was that thing? How was, going to fucking Germany or whatever? How's your world tour? How's your, new dog or whatever it is? But yeah, it feels like you should just like cut the cord all the way through. Don't wait for the right time to break up with someone. Yeah, there is no right time. That's something young people don't know. But there is no right time. There isn't. There are fewer breakup blackout dates than you think. Think it's compassionate to wait till January 2nd to dump them? No, it just shows you were planning to do it all through the holidays. That's not necessarily true. And if anything, it could just show that you still care about them and you didn't do it. But the point is, there's always something coming up or something that just passed. So your guilty conscience will always tell you like, oh, well, I can't do it now. It's because like say after New Year's, what's next? Valentine's Day. There's Black History Month. There's St. Patrick's Day. There's someone's birthday is both of you have birthdays. Those are peppered in there somewhere. Then there's 4th of July or some kind of summer trip that you may have planned. And then there's Memorial Day, Labor Day. And then by then you're back into fall. Thanksgiving's coming up, the holidays. There's something every year. And the holiday companies are giving us less and less breathing room in between holidays. So there's always something about to happen and you need to prepare for it and get your loved one something. So yeah, there's no good time to do it. But if you know you're going to do it, just rip the fucking Band-Aid off. Rip it off. You are wasting your young years. If you know, get out. Do it kindly, but get out. Because, if you're in your second or third relationship, this one isn't it. Especially if you already feel like I'm not happy and you've been together 6 months or a year or something and you're 23, get out of it. Move on. Your whole entire life is ahead of you. Find someone else or don't find anyone else. Date yourself for a year. I did that through a lot of my 20s. Figure out who you are. Then you'll be in a better relationship later on. If you don't know yourself, it sounds cliche. If you don't know yourself, you're not going to know what you want and who you want and how you want it. I don't know. Just don't do too much of either. Don't stay too emotionally cut off or distant, but don't lily pad. Don't jump from one relationship to another. But yeah, you gotta listen to yourself when you're like, dude, I think I know. Just get out while you can, because it doesn't get easier. And don't be the person that blows it up so it feels less shitty in the short term. That's why I think a lot of people cheat or become mean, or you get into fights all the time. So then you're just you get to where you don't like the person or something. That feels easier in the short term, but then, dude, that stuff, unless you're a sociopath, that stuff stays with you, weighs on you. You feel bad. It's easier in the long term to do it with some care. If you're a dating adult, you should own lube. Okay, yeah. All right. Again, is the person that wrote that one just going into countless households that are lube free, or everyone just ran out where they're like, Ah, man, I'm sorry. And you're like, that's enough of that. That's going in the etiquette article. Everyone needs to have lube at all times. Do a subscribe and save on Amazon for lube, you asshole. If your friend is dating someone you seriously object to, you have one shot to sit your pal down and say so. I guess I skipped this one, or I don't remember it. The conventional wisdom has been, unless your friend is being hurt, keep your opinion to yourself. Yeah, because it'll damage your relationship. Or they won't listen. It won't damage it. They just won't be able to hear it. It'll be like all of a sudden you were like in Peanuts, like the teacher in Charlie Brown. Our feeling is you can share your reservations, but you have one shot. After that, your friends decide what to do, and you can't bring up your grievances again unless they ask. No eyebrow raises or passive aggressive observations either. That's funny. Yeah, some people are also big complainers. I don't know that if you're friends with someone that I think complains a lot about their relationship, honestly, I think then you have more than one shot. If they say something initially and you go, "Hey, look, honestly, man, I noticed that early on, and like I'm happy for you, but I'm not the biggest fan of them, but like good luck. I hope everything works out," and then you leave it alone. But if they're complaining like twice a week or some shit, then guess what? You get another shot. You get to be like, "Hey, dude, I told you how I felt, and it doesn't seem to be getting better, and I'm already a no on this. So either get out of there or just don't bring it up to me anymore." I think that should have been in this fucking etiquette article. Who wrote this thing? That's an obvious one. You get to bring it up again if they complain a lot, because obviously they don't know what they're doing. So in a way, they are asking. They want to hear it. They may not be ready to absorb it, but don't describe TikToks. It's more boring than describing dreams. I have a friend who would always describe movies and scenes in movies, and that's kind of one of those, like, if you've heard the story before, you just tell them not to, or you got to sit through it. And I used to tell him, like, yeah, I've seen it, or like, hey, it's not going to be funny if you describe it. He'd still want to do it. And there were some times where I was just like, just let him get through it. And I would just be nice about it. But other times I'm like, hey, look, I don't find that person's movie. I don't think Judd Apatow movies are funny. So how is it going to be funny if you explain it? And as nice as I could, I'd just be like, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Gift randomly. Okay, yeah. Here's where this one actually works. This one's timely because it's 4 days to Valentine's Day. I've never been a Valentine's person. Every relationship I've been in, I say that pretty early on. I don't do that overpaying, overdoing it for a stupid holiday like that. And I've always had friends go, "Oh, you're saying that because you're single. Wait till you get in a relationship." I'm like, every single person I've told that, and they go, either they agree or they go like, I mean, well, maybe we could do something around there. That's different because prices aren't inflated by 1,000,000%. And usually it ends up being fine because I gift randomly, and that shows up throughout the year, and it doesn't feel shitty if all of a sudden you're not planning a big thing for Valentine's Day, because you're the type of person who does think of them and does consider them. I learned that the hard way. When I was way younger, I didn't do that. I just no money for just random gifts, and I was not a gift person, and I wasn't considerate in that way. But yeah, it does pay in a lot of ways. It feels good to give someone a gift randomly because they really aren't expecting it. It's not like a birthday, holiday, or Valentine's Day where it's like on their mind. It just is nice to just give someone a gift randomly. I do that to my girlfriend. She loves it because she's not expecting it. I don't tell her. I just show up and I go, "Hey, I found this in the hallway," or whatever. If you're some COVID stuff, if you've met someone and they don't remember your name, say, hey, we've met, I'm blank. That one is good. That's not a new etiquette rule, I don't think. That's if you have any amount of empathy and social graces at all, you know to do that. Or you just say it right away. They go, hey, you go, hey, what's up, man? I'm Nick. And if they remember, great. Just go, oh, I'm used to saying that. I meet a lot of new people. Like, I remember you too. I'm just habit. That's easy. Never answer a compliment with a compliment. Did I not? I think I was just rage reading this and I just like ignored some. A couple months ago, I met a famous singer backstage after her concert. Again, like the people that are writing that, no one will go through that. I met a famous singer backstage at a fuck you. I was wearing a loud pair of pants, the kind that attract a lot of attention wherever they go, designed by a friend. You piece of shit. Writing an etiquette article. Is there an etiquette rule about not being this person? Fucking, I met a famous singer, you're already backstage and you're fat. I'm so trendy and fashionable and they were designed by I know a designer. I like your pants, the singer said. I like your glasses, I responded in a panic. Horrible, false sounding, and how could it not be? A compliment that follows a compliment, even if meant sincerely, will always sound forced. Nope. Who wrote this? Oh, Katie Schneider. You suck. Yeah, that one's weird. That's like a weird social awkward, you don't know how to be around people thing, because that's just opened the floor for you to compliment each other. Right? Because sometimes you don't want to say something you don't know how someone will receive something. You don't want to bring it up out of nowhere. If someone has like issues with being looked at or, talked about, like if you said something about someone's like pants or whatever, they could have some underlying issue. But if the floor has been open for compliments and you've been holding that one in, say it. Sounds forced. Live in the real world, Katie. With your always backstage at a show with your designer friends, people compliment each other. It's the way it goes. It's okay to ask. It's okay to ask how to say someone's name. Yeah. Duh. If someone mispronounces a word, but you knew what they meant, move along. Yeah, that one can come off smug if you're like, it's pronounced whatever. But with good friends, do it, because that honestly helps for the next time. That there should be an asterisk there. If someone mispronounced the word but you knew what they meant, move on. But if you're good friends with them, tell them, because it's going to look less embarrassing down the line when someone ignores you. I mean, someone that ignores it and moves on. Tell them, and they'll just get used to it as a friend. I love when people tell me. If I'm mispronouncing a word and if it's a good friend of mine and they tell me, I go, thank you. Or if they're saying a word I don't mean, I stop and go, what does that word mean? That's how you learn shit. The amount of things that like some of these etiquette rules are like, just leave it or ignore. It's like you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not going to like learn things. And there's just like ways to politely ask stuff. Yeah, are a lot of these etiquette rules written by people who didn't grow up like communicating with other humans? Were their formative years in Facebook Messenger and fucking Instagram DMs and shit? Like bullshit COVID rules. Again, there's a lot of these. I don't want to go through all of them. Maybe we'll stop at 30 and I'll do the other ones in like a part 2. If you want to hear that. If you don't, say it in the comments. Fuck off. Do something else. But God, did these piss me off. Ugh. Some of them are just so ridiculous and so tone deaf, or like written by people with like social anxiety problems. And this is coming from someone with social anxiety problems. Like, especially that, like, don't respond to a compliment with a compliment. What are you talking about? Anyway, That one drove me nuts. So I'll do some more in the second one, unless again you're like, I don't. None of us care, but or I'll do it again anyway because that's not an etiquette rule I have to follow. My special comes out February 17th on YouTube, YouTube only. Subscribe to it.
Like, subscribe, and comment. Don't be a dick.